Welcome to what could be one of the worst videos I've ever shot. I'm sleep deprived and there's not going to be any second takes because this is my workout time. But hey, maybe it could be one of the best and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Well, bad line and bad delivery. So we're off to one of the worst video of all time starts. Now, I put this chair next to me. I'm gonna do my best in my workout right now without stopping doing my workout to explain my workout. And regression is a really powerful thing. So if you imagine having two chairs next to you, and in this exercise, we're trying to own the bottom of that squat. So it's one thing just to like squat all the way down, but how much there were we really signaling to our body, okay, we wanna bring up this weak link. Now, saying this is a weak link, you would call that maybe like, I think that was 5. You would call that maybe like bro science. And I really like just kind of common sense observation of stuff. But we're gonna look at bro science, actual science, and examples. I think if you have all 3 zones, that's the best, and that fuels me for my training the most. I'm doing shoulder press here. I've got 50 pounds each hand. I'm doing 5 reps per set. I could do more weight if I stopped here, but I'm turning here so the dumbbells don't hit my shoulder. So I'm getting a full range of motion. I started body weight on the squat. Now I'll go bar on the second set. I'm elevating my heels. If you notice, it's not like I would have to elevate my heels, but when you elevate the heels, you're able to get even more bend. And also notice at lighter weights, it's not like I would have to use those things. This would work just as well, but as you go heavier, I really want all my intent on the vastus medialis. It's referred to as the VMO, vastus, large, medialis, toward the middle of the body. And the reason it's referred to as VMO is because that O stands for oblique because of its slanting nature. Hopefully that was 5 there. But the O is just something it's referred to. I've had people in the comments criticize me for calling it a VMO because they say, that's not technical, you don't need the O. Well, it became known as VMO. I didn't start calling it that, but if I'm gonna teach you something, I should be equipping you with the well-rounded knowledge so that you know what to say when some person is trying to be a jerk and tries to criticize you for calling it a VMO instead of just a vastus medialis. So the thing with the vastus medialis is, number 1, it's the muscle that's most responsible for stabilizing your knee when it's under pressure. So, of course, you have a lot of things helping out your knee, but this one is the one that has to contract first when the knee is under pressure, and it happens to get preferentially trained when we go all the way down. So now from here, I'm actually trying to rack up time under tension as deep as I can in that squat. There was a study, another thing that people may attack you for is they will say, you can't preferentially train your VMO. That was proven false. Well, in 2009, there was a study that said you can't, but it stopped at 90 degrees on the knee. 7 years later, a study was done and it found, well, when you go below 90 degrees, and actually when you approach 140 degrees, which is probably about what I am here, it's almost exclusively VMO to pull you out of that position. So again, you need to have that data because really you shouldn't be attacked for anything that's true, but when some people were educated on something false first, you might have to defend yourself against that false data. God, this is about 5. But as you can see, my VMOs are already on fire. And I didn't really say why I'm doing 10-minute sessions, but I'm sleep deprived. We have a 1-year-old and now a newborn in the house. She's a week old. So I'm just picking 2 exercises and going back and forth between those 2, ideally for 5 rounds in about 10 minutes. I think today is gonna be my toughest session yet because trying to talk during this is brutal. VMO of your thigh muscles also happens to be the most fast twitch. So for athleticism, it can be pretty underrated. So we went over the bro science, which for me is just, look down there in that bottom quarter, that's a weak link for me. Then we've covered some of the science of this vastus medialis. And now let's look at some real world training motivation. Stephen Holm, arguably the world's greatest high jumper. If you look at his height, 5'11", first how high he jumped, winning a gold medal, and how much he was able to compete. He was known as like the Iron Man of high jump, and he was the deepest squatter I could find. So no, he wasn't doing extra reps in the bottom like this, but he squatted just as deep as I can, which for the sport of high jump, it's like, wait, your knee only bends that much in high jump. Well, seems like this gave him an advantage to have extra bulletproof knees compared to his competition. And even in his 40s now, he's still crazy bouncy. So for me, I'm like, geez, boy, if I had the results of that guy. Now in my case, coming from a background of partially artificial kneecap, a bunch of other stuff, I'm not Stephen Holm. I also play basketball, which is way more intense on your knees as a whole of adding all the mileage and pounding. You don't have as much control over all that jagged movement, whereas high jump, you do have a more controlled movement and you don't have to land from your jump. So he did the right thing for him and it worked. What made him an outlier was how deep he squatted, even though that doesn't look like a jump. And I was looking through the training records of a guy named Dwight Powell, long jumper, because you would think, okay, so that deep squat doesn't look like a jump, but maybe it could help you go more vertical. But what about speed and jumping for distance? Well, Dwight Phillips used a 1 1/4. Shit, he actually did the bar on front. I forgot I was going to try that today. So I'll try it on this set. He did a 1 1/4 squat like that. A little bit stronger weights too than I can do. I mean, this thing is, oh shit, that's why I didn't want to do it. The microphone. All right, I'll finish her out. Bar on back. But the point is, this worked bar on front for a guy who ended up winning gold medal on that, off that training cycle in the Olympic long jump. Okay, this is my last set here. Hopefully it hasn't hit about 10 minutes yet, but the idea is that I'm sleep deprived, trying to help my wife all I can with this newborn. I'm trying to plan workouts that I can realistically get done. Oh man, it's getting really tough for me to get out of the hole. I thought 5 would be an easy number to count to. I don't even know what rep I'm at. Woo! Finish 5 more shoulder presses and I'm done. Maybe this was brutal to watch, but at least I've tried. I've always tried to be open with you about what I'm doing. And this is it's Monday. This is one of the 6 different workouts I'm doing. So I tried to think, man, if I could only do like 12 movements the rest of my life, what would they be? Then pair them up. 2 movement sessions, 6 days. Love you. Got a happy, healthy girl. It's a true miracle. Anything you're doing working out, it's a freaking joke compared to what mamas have to do to make this world go around. So the real MVP is in there nursing our little Sapphire right now. Thanks for your support. As always, if you want to see my workouts, I try to give you, full examples, but my job is being a coach, helping you have your form coached to perfection. Our new app is actually done, meaning like if you sign up, you go onto the ATG app, not someone else's app. This is custom that we started over 2 years ago with the goal of the least clicks necessary, the smoothest video sending. So if you're already a member, we're hard at work making the switch. It's gonna take some grunt work the next week or so to switch over all the members, but it had to go live to start the switch, meaning now if anyone signs up, they go to the ATG app that I've been working on. It's even a free download. If you want to check it out, message my mama, customer service. Bye.